All right, what's going on? Kevin Holt here with BallHer Hoops. Back at you again. New setup. Ready to get started. Beginning of the basketball season. Going to give you some games of the week. Some of these scrimmages. Going to give you a recap. Some private schools are already started, so going to give you some games that to watch for this week, and some games that we looked at over the scrimmages. Let's start with the Providence Day scrimmages. A lot of good action. Shout out to Josh and everybody else that had something to do with that scrimmages. Really good games. Really, it was run really well. I think the games on the first court got kind of behind just because that's a part of basketball. Overtimes and injuries, they tend to cause games to last a little longer. So overall, really the job was done well. But getting to the scrimmages, some teams I really like. Surprise team was RGK. RGK's a really solid team. I don't know if a lot of people got a chance to watch them. They played a really close game with Legacy out of South Carolina. Beat Lake Norman. Lake Norman was a little shorthanded, but still a good win for them. They beat one more team. I can't remember who it was, but they have a big game against Providence. I think it's Friday. All the public schools start Friday, so they play Friday. I want to say it's either at Providence or RGK, of course, but I can't remember exactly where. But that'll be a good game. One of the games of the week. Lake Norman looked good in their stars. They were missing one of the twins, so of course that takes a toll on the team. Cannon went 3-0. Myers Park looked good. Their only loss came to Cannon, but they looked good after that. United Faith, Concord Academy, both of those teams look good. United Faith and Northside Christian will play this week. They will play Friday. That's going to be a big game. United Faith also plays Providence Day Tuesday, so that they have two big games this week. Both winnable. I know they're going to want to win both, and it's going to be some really good basketball for them. I don't want to leave anybody out. One looked good. Independence looked good in spurts. I think they're still finding their footing with Kaylee Carson coming back. Of course, it's always good to have her back. I know Coach is loving that. But they're still finding their stride. But they found it versus 1-on-1. They hit shots. When they're hitting shots, they're one of the better teams. Catholic, of course, with the size. Blanca looks ready to play. She was really good in the PD scrimmages, and so was Grayson. Two D1 commits. It's hard to beat that. Panther Creek, I want to mention them because 3-0 is 3-0 at the end of the day. They looked really good. Coming out their state championship, they look really good. Ready to defend that title. So it's going to be a lot of good stuff going on in the Charlotte area. I got a chance to watch Mallet Creek play. They played against PLB, so I really didn't get to see much of how they'll look, but they looked really locked in. Elle Stone is going to probably be even better this year than she was last year. I think it's a lot less for her to do now, so she's going to focus on that efficiency. Myasia was really good. A lot of people talk about the other pieces that Mallet Creek has, but I think Myasia is one of the most important pieces. I think I've said that before, but I really feel that way because she's so athletic and she defends different spots on the court. I think she's important. They picked up a new kid, Alana. I can't pronounce her last name, but she's from Cherokee. She's going to be a really good player for them. She defends the ball well. She's very athletic. And she coming from a winning program. Cherokee was a 1A team that really went kind of far in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Bishop McGinnis won it, but they were still a solid team. And she's a great piece to add for them. Trying to think. Saw Garinger. Garinger looked good in spurts. I think they're still figuring out some components of it, but they got a good win versus Central Bears. I think they're going to be a team that fights for that 3-4 spot in the conference, so that'll be good. But on to the games of the week. I think we have 6 of them. My first one was, I already mentioned, United Faith versus Providence Day. United Faith has a brand new team, pretty much. If you haven't seen them, please get a chance out there to see them. Coach Hollis has done a great job with getting kids inside the school. And they're going to be a team that 1A, I feel like, is going to have to go through them. And even though they're not defending state champs and they still have the defending state champs to worry about, they have the talent from top to bottom to win it. I think they're going to play a tough schedule, and they're ready for it. I think this week they're playing Providence Day and Northside Christian. The Northside Christian is another game of the week. That's a matchup that's going to kind of decide 1A because, I mean, you look at them and Victory Christian and Northside Christian, those three teams, I guarantee, unless some other team from the East has drastically improved, those three teams are going to be a state champion, one of those three teams. If I'm wrong, somebody can call me out on it. I'm fine with that, but that should be one of the state champions. So Northside Christian versus United Faith on Friday will be a really good game to see. I might be at that game since we don't play Friday, but it should be a good game. 1-of-1 Christian versus Victory Christian. I mean, not 1-of-1 Christian, my bad. 1-of-1 Academy versus Victory Christian. 1-of-1, that would be their first game, if I'm not mistaken. They'll be playing Victory Christian. Victory Christian has a lot of talent on their team. Shout out to Deborah. She just committed to UNC Asheville. They have Stephanie Mobley, who's another guard that's really talented. She's going to run the ones and twos for them, and Deborah's going to probably handle the inside. And I'm sure they have some other kids. They get a lot of international kids over there at Victory Christian. But 1-on-1 should be ready. I think the Hankerson twins, both of the Rich sisters, and then you got Chloe and Jody. I think that's going to be a lot for them to handle. So it's going to be a good game. I think whoever comes out first and gets started early will win that game. I don't think it's going to come down to like a last-minute shot or anything. I think it's going to be one way or the other. Hickory Ridge versus Myers Park. I think this is my game of the week because both of these teams are really talented. Hickory Ridge feels like they are a better team. Shout out to Anna Johnson. She decided that she's like, where are we? Why we're not on that list? And I'm not understanding. Everybody feels that way. But like I told her, show and prove. At the end of the day, you prove to everybody why you should be on the list. At the end of the day, that's what makes you a good team. We use bulletin board material all the time. So I think Hickory Ridge has a talented team. Cherie Gidney is going to be a proven senior leader. Maya Leathers is really talented. Michaela Gidney is good as well. So I think they're going to have to work well together, and they'll figure it out. I think Coach does a great job of figuring it out. But Myers Park has the size. I think they're figuring it out as well, learning who could be that true point guard for them. And once they figure that part out, I think everything will fall in place. Jaren Truesdale is going to be who she is. Evelyn, I think is her name, the big in the middle. Once she starts really getting that feel for the game, I think she's going to be really good. Northside Christian versus United Faith, I've already talked about. Ardrey Kell versus Providence, I talked about briefly. But I think that's a game that's going to – you look at playoffs. When you play these early games, you look at playoff implications because not only are you looking at those top 3 or 4 in your conference, because if you don't finish in the top 3 or 4, then you're trying to get that wild card, which is really hard to do. And this may be a team that may be in front of you or behind you because you won that game early in the season. So this is going to be a good game. I think both teams are going to be well prepared, and it'll be a good game. And my last game of the week was Independence versus West Cabarrus. I think this is going to be a guard matchup heavy. Nobody knows if Ashley Shaw is playing, but I doubt she plays. I think they're going to be good regardless. Rihanna and Tyler are going to really do good. Shariah's going to be the athletic person to handle that pressure inside. And then with Independence, you got a lot of good guards with Hannah Maus, Kaylee Carson's back. Cameron Kitchen is still who she is, the talented player that everyone raves about. I think if Chloe Moss can get it going, Jessica Worthy, I think they win that game. But overall, we're just looking for a good first week of basketball. Shout out to all the teams that have been putting in that work. I also want to shout out West Rowan. Shout out West Rowan for winning the Take Me to the Queen event. I've told a lot of people I don't have them as my number one team, but I think they're going to be one of those teams that it's going to be hard to beat. I think their conference is really heavy. You look at them, Robinson, Central Bears, Northwest Bears. It's going to be a heavy, talented group in that conference. But whoever wins that conference is going to have an advantage because then you're looking at a 1 or a 2 seed because East Lincoln's conference is not going to be as strong. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but they're probably going to go deep down in the playoffs as well. And if they go undefeated like they did last season, depending on who wins that J.M. Robinson and West Ryan matchup, because one of them might end up beating the other, and they may flip-flop, and they knock each other out of that first place contention. So we'll see. But best of luck to all the teams this week. Kevin Hope, we out.